Okay, so
There you go.
So Cloudflare, what elements of the business model should they keep or start doing with respect to CVP, GTM, TOM, or CFF? I read all this stuff on Sunday, so I don't know what any of that means. Oh, customer value proposition, technology and operations, and customer acquisition, and profit formula. So let me bring up my spreadsheet. So I don't know if this is really covering this first question, but looking at their doing that little spreadsheet that was part of the individual assignment, they're gonna lose money, right? At first, like lose $1 million. But if they were able to get their conversion rate up like 3% was all they needed was to get to make a profit and remain at the $20 per subscription. But so what are the key elements of the customer value proposition? So it's like, we have the.
I'm sorry. Are we looking at Rent Juice or are we looking at the other one?
Cloudflare.
Okay.
Sorry.
So I felt like their value proposition was mainly focused around just that they served everyone. And that was unique in their industry, that they would not discriminate against whatever kind of service you were having. And so they were doing a new market disruption, because their options were either take this service or nothing at all.
Yeah. And they did their freemium. They did a freemium business model, right? And they were targeting smaller companies that couldn't afford to have a lot of security.
They saved a lot of companies like a ton of money, like millions, and just because of how smart they were set up.
Yeah. What should they keep doing or start doing when it comes to the CVP? So I think they should. I mean, I like the idea of just keep helping out the small companies, because eventually they're going to be able to get big enough. If they can save money at the start, and they have their pretty good growth, they'll be able to turn into a premium subscriber.
Yeah.
Anything else they should keep doing or start doing?
I think they need to start bringing in some more structure. I think that the people who left were kind of frustrated, and all kind of led back to that. I think they were probably having no structure in a lot of ways, but I think that they can introduce it without hurting the company.
Yeah. And so that kind of goes underneath the organizational implications. Anybody else have anything on those?
Sorry, which one? The organizational?
So the little chart for the customer value proposition. We described the key elements, and then keep or start doing, and then the organizational implications. We've covered something in each of those, but if there's anything else you guys want to add.
No.
So we'll go to the GTM, and so the GTM is sorry.
Are you under the group discussion or the group assignment?
Discussion.
Okay.
Sorry, GTM. Not sure what that is.
Yeah. I
It's
don't know
not-
where to find those.
And it's not, I mean, it doesn't show up at all in the, it doesn't show up as GTM. But I'm not seeing anything that would make that acronym.
That go-to-market.
Growth, maybe new growth opportunities. Well, I guess that's kind of. I mean, if it is growth, it's talking about their freemium
Strategy. That's what GTM is.
growth market strategy.
Go to market.
Oh, go to market.
Hmm. So it's essentially a strategy to provide like the process how they're going to deliver a product to the end customer.
Okay, so basically they're freemium setup.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay. So go back to our chart. So again, describe key elements is free. A freemium service. Premium subscribers pay $20 a month, and it has a 4% conversion rate.
4%.
Yeah. Okay, so then start or keep doing. What should they start doing or continue to do? I think they could start advertising. I think that would help them
Yeah.
get a higher conversion rate for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought a lot about how right now they're focusing a lot on doing cold calling out and reaching out to different companies. And if they had like a set marketing routine, that would be really helpful.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes into the organizational implications is, they need to kind of put more focus into that advertising, and they need to make sure that they're structured in such a way that they can actually handle that.
Yeah. And I think going off of that, about handling it, I think if they handle it well, they can not overwork their employees, because I think that's one big red flag that they're not able to handle the growing rate of the company.
Yeah, like that one engineer who was on call, and he said he got called every 8 minutes for 24 hours. Like,
Yeah.
that's
That's
a
ridiculous.
yeah, I wouldn't want to work there either. So I think what they should do is like, was it WordBuzz or Agent Buzz, something like that, where they did the word of mouth, like referrals. If
Right.
as people, I think that would help with their conversion rate as well. And then, pretty cheap advertising.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, anything else you guys want to add on to the go-to-market?
No.
Okay. All right. TOM.
Is that target operating model? Is that what it is?
That's what I found too. The old Google.
Right, that's what I did.
Okay, sweet. So their target operation model, you said?
Yeah, target operating model.
All right, so let's do, so what are the key elements?
So the targeting is pretty much like small to medium-sized businesses, right?
Yeah. They're trying to get all the small ones that can't really afford to do the security and everything for themselves.
Right. Yeah.
That's it's pretty good. And they said they're doing like something like 5 billion views a day or something insane like that, or clicks.
Yeah.
That might be a little extreme. Can't remember, but they had they were operating off of like a ton of views, and 2 billion daily page views. So that's just a huge. I can imagine the work it goes into to secure 2 billion things a day. So what should they keep doing or start doing?
I know they've targeted small businesses. I think that their service is good enough that they can start going after some bigger businesses too. Just because, I mean, they're spending so much money and they're able to offer it at such a good price. I think that they can really nail that market too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the organizational implications of that, I think they should do this anyway. They should hire. They need more people. You know, they're just spread too thin, and they need to get a little more organized and have a good structure.
Yeah, so here's my biggest problem with them is that there were people who didn't know what to do with their time. They talked about not knowing their job or what their priorities were. And for some of them, that's why they quit. And I feel like they can still establish a job description without having the hierarchy that they're trying to avoid. But at the end of the day, people need to have goals. They need to have assignments, and those things have to be very specific. So that way each person doesn't become a dumping ground. Like the guy who was a jack of all trades just became a dumping ground and overwhelmed and overworked. And
Or that one guy who got hired
set people and their set responsibilities, it just lifts the whole company.
There's that one guy who got hired and he didn't even do the job he was hired for. Because they were like, oh, sorry, we hired you prematurely. We're gonna have you do something else in the meantime. Like, to me, I would be pretty salty if I got hired for a job and then they made me do something else that wasn't that job. You know, it's like, you know, they're just right from the get-go, not upholding their end of the bargain.
Yeah.
All right, and then CFS. So the cash flow, I guess. Are we looking at cash flow?
I think so.
Right? So they.
Yeah.
So I made my whatever spreadsheet. I did. This one here is what they're based off of right now. Their 4% conversion rate, with the 500,000 subscribers at $20. So they're running at a loss of $3 million. So they're not. I mean, they're not doing too great from the get-go. But like, if they can continue to go, like I said, if they can even just get a 7% conversion rate, not change anything with the pricing, you know, they'll make $500,000 in profit. I think that kind of goes along with what we mentioned in the previous sections, that, you know, like the word of mouth and better advertising and getting their name out there will really help them gain more subscribers.
For sure. Next, I think 4% is just way too low for 500,000. Only 4%.
Yeah.
That's just. Yeah, I think the word of mouth concept that I think was it Buzz something that you were mentioning. I think it's pretty good. I think an example for Cloudflare that they can do. They can offer an incentive to those who share the qualities of Cloudflare to other people.
Yeah, exactly. You know, because that Buzz. I mean, it worked. It was phenomenal for Buzz Agent. You know, I mean, I can't see why it wouldn't work for this place, or for Cloudflare, especially where, like in that video, they said they like when people attack because then they can see where they need to improve. You know, and with all these smaller companies not paying, they're still getting something out of it rather than just you know, like, oh, well, you know, they're just using it for free, so we have to pay for it, but they're actually gaining something out of those guys using it. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But, all right, well, so organizational implications, again, we'll just need to hire more people, you know, with more accounts and need more employees.
For sure. Yeah.
All right. Anything else you guys want to add to this chart, or do you want to move on?
We're good.
Good. Okay. All right. So, working as a group, take closer work at their cash flow formula. Suppose we have to hire more engineers in direct proportion to how we scale. How long will it take to become profitable? Use an actual spreadsheet and turn in after the discussion. So, oh, that's the wrong one. Sorry, I did that a little.
Sorry, guys. My service is pretty bad.
We could probably just use this one. So if we need to hire more employees, I'll just copy this.
This is here as far as employees. It says in the article, a rough rule of thumb was that in Silicon Valley startups, whose staffs consisted mostly of engineers and managers, might pay about $150,000 per head in salary, benefits, rent, and overhead.
But what?
It says it pays $150,000 per head in salary, benefits, rent, and overhead. Sounds like a rule of thumb in Silicon Valley startups.
Okay, cool. All right. So if they need to hire more employees, so if they're running 500,000 accounts with 35 people, so every about 15, a person for every employee for every 15,000 accounts. And what did it say here? Not that one. To hire more employees. So I mean, assuming they hire, say, 40, even they're going to be losing 3.8 million. And then if they can get, what do you guys think with their growth, if they can expand maybe like 650,000 subscribers? Probably a percent, and then a 6%, a 6% conversion rate to make money. So I'd take. I mean, I don't know how many subscribers a year do you think their average growth is? Let's see. Growth opportunities. Let's see. How long have they been open up to this point? So in 2 years, they got 500,000 subscribers. So if we, assume that, so in a year, say they maintain that 750. Ooh, that's a little too many. They maintain that 4% conversion rate with 5 more employees. But we'll need with 15,000 per 100. That's not right. No, that's not right. 500 seems a little extreme. I might have done my math wrong on that one. 50. That's what it is. 50. So we need 50 employees to maintain the 750,000. They have to get at least 6% conversion rate for every 250,000% or 250,000 subscribers they get. Does that seem viable? To $1 million. Add another 55. Nope, has to jump. Jeez. There we go. So with 55 and at 6, they'll still make 3 million. I think, you know, five new employees for every 250,000 subscribers seems like a pretty solid. Because at some point, you know, they're going to plateau and have things in place so they won't need as many employees per subscription.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? That's bring up a. We had one of these that had almost all these have a cash flow on them though, right? Okay.
I think that looks great.
That'll be all right. Because there's like, we have those other one. I can't remember what one we did, but one of our old spreadsheets actually has a cash flow spreadsheet we could just put in this information for. I just can't remember which one, but because that doesn't really cover their cash flow, does it? Do you guys remember which one of these case studies we did that had all about the cash flow?
Honestly, I'm taking 2 classes that are all 100% case studies. I don't remember them.
I know, I'm in that same boat. I hate case studies so freaking much. It's insane.
I'm trying to look for it right now. Which case study it was?
I found one. It's under the TM exercises. I'm just gonna steal that. Come on, you're doing like that. Okay, so. Well, that doesn't really apply for this, does it? Inventory. Well, that's all right. The spreadsheet's not gonna work. I'll lie to you guys. I'm sorry. We'll just whatever. This look good to you guys. This one, I guess. Oh, you know what? This is not going to be right. This is variable. What was the variable cost? Dang it, that's not right. It was like $7. Oh man, this is not the right variable cost number because that should increase. Can't remember where I got that number from. Did you guys do the spreadsheet?
I honestly didn't see that there was a spreadsheet that was supposed to be done with the first part.
Oh, all right. Maybe
I just did like the normal write-up.
Oh, man. Maybe I probably did it wrong. Waste, man. Oh, well, whatever. We got this here. So, yeah, we'll just use this. How's that sound?
Well, in like the group assignment, it says that we have to turn in one, so.
Yeah. All right, so I'll just stop. All right, so let's do. So what does Cloudflare management want to get big fast? What does it benefit Cloudflare from receive from Scale. So to me, like, the more subscriptions you have, the better chances you're getting of a higher conversion rate. That's the only thing I can really think of, because it's, it costs money. And the video where it said that they learn a lot from the other small users when they get attacked.
Yeah. This also is an article under growth opportunities that the more scale of economies that they have and traffic that they handled, that the more patterns they can discern, allowing their team to improve network performance.
Yeah. So does Cloudflare have economy of scale? Explain your answer. So I think they probably need to cool it or hire more people, because I don't think they're going to be able to maintain a good product or service if they keep having people leave. So I think honestly they need to probably scale it down a little bit, get a little more established before going for that huge growth.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that once they get established, then the cost. Some customers, like you guys said, and plus they're just in a business that doesn't require a lot of people, I guess.
Yeah.
But per customer, it doesn't require a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So does Cloudflare have network effects? So like the value of the service increase for each customer when there are more customers using it? I think, okay, you just answered that. It's, like you said, they get more users, the better patterns they can pick up. So that's beneficial. What other
I
reasons?
also remember how, like in the case they talked about, like how every time they're attacked, it like benefits them because they're able to like counteract that attack better in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. So that for sure helps their having more subscribers. What other reasons might Cloudflare management have for wanting to go big so fast?
I think once it's getting into space, I think obviously if you hit a market first, then you're kind of the default company. I think that they would want to do that. I think they'd want to be the first company to get ahead.
Then what might reasons do you guys think they should not go for growing so fast?
I feel like
Employee turnover.
Yeah. Right now they have really high turnover even at the pace that they're moving at. And the aggressive company right now. And if they are going to try to even further that, I feel like all of people are going to get burnt out.
Yeah. I think I agree. I think they need to, scale it back and get it established, like I said before. So discuss each of the recent resignations, why they left. Then ask what would have changed for that person to stay. So I think we kind of covered this with some of them. The one guy who was the jack of all trades, and they just dumped everything on him, like give him an exact title to make sure that he's not getting overwhelmed, and where he can help out, he can when he has time, but give him his own specific tasks.
Yeah.
And that that would prevent hiring costs and trying to find somebody who can do that job.
There's also the guy who was getting paged every 8 minutes.
Yeah, that would be infuriating.
Yeah. So, I mean, if that person, what would have to change for that person to stay? I mean, they just need more people, like we said.
Yeah, some pretty easy fix to that. Yeah, that'd be super annoying. My wife works, and her boss will text her nonstop, and drives me insane. She already works 50, 60 hours a week, and then she'll blow up her phone every chance she's at home. I'm like, man, that would, like, as soon as I graduate, she's quitting that job, man. It drives me crazy.
I think I saw, man. The kind of jobs we have.
So Dale,
I think one of no, I was just gonna say that one of them that was interesting was one of them, he was like a Silicon Valley like veteran who quit it because he didn't find like a purpose or like fulfilled working for Cloudflare. That one's kind of interesting.
yeah, that was that the guy? He was the one who said they like didn't really give him the position that they hired him for, right?
I think so. I think it's David Secure. I think that's him. No, it's not him.
Yeah, it's the David
Conrad?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Was he the one?
Yeah,
Oh,
he
no,
said,
he
but
was
I
like
know
the
that it wasn't
infrastructure.
fair. Yeah.
There's no, yeah, or no organization. Yeah, so, I mean, to me, that's a pretty easy fix. Just like understand that when you're making a business and, you know, trying to go big into a corporation, you need to have a structure and an organization. I don't know, seems a pretty basic concept.
Yeah.
But you got all these people trying to reinvent the wheel. And then David Secor, he was the one who left because he was hired for advertising, right? And then they didn't want him to do advertising yet. He like moved his family across the country and wait for that.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yep,
I mean, what do you guys think about that? Just again, organization.
I felt like I was beating a dead horse in my paper. I just felt like everything I wrote about said this would be fixed if people knew what their job was. This would be fixed if you hired jobs to be jobs to be done. And I feel like that was the core problem with all of those people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the idea of like no job titles, like it sounds cool. It's like, oh, I work in Zion, you know. It's, but I don't think we live in that perfect world. I think people need to know what they're supposed to do. So I think all of them can kind of be tracked back to that in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I agree. I think that is a really good way to say it. Because yeah, you know, I mean, like perfect world, nobody would need a title and they would just do their job. But at the end of the day, like, how are you supposed to know what your job is if you don't have a title or a position?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the two more resignations were
due to burnouts, I thought mostly.
Yeah, so you finally burnt out and you don't want to quit, but you walk away for a lot. So they walked away like they're right about having they're about to be fully vested for their investments in the company too, and just to walk away with that instead of just waiting. That to me, that shows just pure chaos. I don't know if I could walk. You know what I mean? Like just in a few years, I got a pretty good lump sum set away from work, and if I to just leave it, you know what I mean? Like I'd have to be pretty salty to skit scat, you know.
Yeah.
All right. So, should Cloudflare implement more processes and structures, hire a VP of HR, and start using titles? We pretty much agree on yes. Slow down growth, yes or no? I think yes.
For now, yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Discuss what will happen to the company under your recommendations, what will happen to the culture, motivation of the employees, what will happen to the cost structure, therefore profitability. I think they'll be able to retain or get a better conversion rate, honestly, if they can focus on the subscribers they have. So I think they'd be able to make more money if they, you know, could spread, you know, hire a few more people and focus on getting more subscribers.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if they had let the advertising guy actually advertise, for example, then of course they'd be more profitable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's also a concept where if you work people less, there's more productivity made. So I think like you guys are saying, like if I guys hire more people and they have a specific job and they do it well, I think there's more productivity than that than compared to just overworking people.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Cool. So, rent juice. So I know I read this case study, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember anything about this. Like, it doesn't even strike a bell.
It was a guy who. Sorry.
You should start to raise money. They're about to do this huge launch with real time to target the landlords.
Real estate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with that, I feel like they're going to want to promote their marketing campaign so that way they can reach as many landlords as possible, and they're going to need money for that.
No. So you wanted to raise money, yes, and work on marketing?
I feel like that's one factor. I also feel like they need to hire more people to kind of – they only have like 11 people right now is what I think what the case said. And I feel like they work such an there's so many people that they work with that having more of like account managers and things like that would be really beneficial.
Yeah.
So what else do you guys think they should do with that money? I like the idea of getting staff and marketing, with that, get your name out there.
Yeah, I think also in like research and development, like he mentioned all the way at the end how much he regretted not seeing the opportunity of doing the real time. So I wish he would have. I think if there would have been more effort in research and development, they probably would have saw the opportunity sooner as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think they should. I think they should raise money. I think definitely with other people kind of reaching into that market too. I just think he's going to need, like you said, research and development. I think he's going to need people to sell it. I just think it's kind of he's got to kind of put all that resource into it, I guess.
Yeah, he says he also planned for under marketing to hire rent juice evangelists to help sell the new free product for property managers. So kind of like what we're talking about, that he kind of preferred word of mouth as the best marketing method. So he said he was kind of thinking about it. So I think he should go ahead and just do it.
Well, they also had that one gal come in who was doing 80 cold calls a day trying to get accounts. And so I feel like getting a set sales team that's trained in how to best build the relationship so that the accounts are actually converted over into sales would be so helpful.
And how effective are cold calls?
They're not. They're terrible.
That's
most companies start with that just because they have to.
Yeah. No, this is a terrible idea. So why do investors care about the customer lifetime value or the customer acquisition cost and sales of conversion data? To me, it's like pretty simple. Hey, how much money is it going to take for you to get a customer, and then how long are you going to keep that customer? Like, to me, that's just like a pretty basic thing. Like, hey, if you can get them for the cheapest as possible, good, and if you can keep them as long as possible, good. So if, as an investor, I'd want them to be as cheap as they could and keep them as long as they could. Seems pretty simple.
Yeah.
Do you guys have anything else to add to that? Seems like a pretty straightforward question. Good.
The only thing I would add is I feel like as an investor, I would look at those things and say, okay, my investment will be worthwhile. I will get a good return off of this because there's customers who care. And if there's not customers who care, then you're never going to be able to get your company off the ground. And investors won't care.
Yeah, I agree. So what is the customer life value of rent juice customers?
I didn't remember seeing any specific numbers for what their turnover of customer rate was, but I remember it being as if it was hard for them to get any customers at all. I know they had a low customer base, but they were loyal. So I would say that the customer value is high based off of the numbers they have. It's just that their customer base is small.
Yeah. So so the customer value lifetime formula is a pretty easy one. It's annual profit per customer times the average number of years they remain as a customer and less the initial customer cost. So what were the...
Oh, these are the assumptions. Okay.
Yeah, they gave us some assumptions there. So we're looking at annual profit per customer. Looking at 440 times 12, times that by the average number of years, 38%. So that times it by the annual churn.
So then that means then that 60% are staying.
Okay.
Is my understanding.
Okay. I don't know if that's how many years I should actually time. I don't know if that formula will work for this one then. Let's see if there's another one real quick. Okay. Well, that's the same. I don't know. It keeps coming with that same stuff. So if 60% stay, how long do you think they stay for? Does it say in the case study how many years they stay with them? That's not. Nope. It doesn't say anything about that. Just let's see if there's anything in the exhibits. Sorry, I'm just trying to see if I can find the time, average time. Total cycles. 21 cycles, 21 days. That can't be what I'm looking for. Doesn't say for years. So 60% stay every year, only 60% stay. That's, that's probably 3 years, right? If you have 60%, keep staying. Yeah. Is that a good assumption, you think?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
Works for me.
12. Time 3 years minus, that can't be right. Negative 16, 716 if we go off of that, the 3-year number. Let's make it 5 years. What do you think?
We don't care about the gross margin, or what is the CAC?
The cost of actual acquisition costs. That's what it is.
Oh, so yeah, it'll take a few years for them to be paid off as acquisition.
Yeah. You know what? I did that wrong, guys. I'm sorry. Let's keep it at 3 years. And at 3 years, they make 13,000. The CVL is 13,540. That sound good to you guys?
Yeah.
Cool. How well is the sale funnel at Rent Juice working? What can they improve? What can you do to reduce our acquisition costs? I'd probably say don't have that lady come in and call 80 people a day.
I would definitely cut her out. I would also say that I think that by focusing in on marketing smarter,
All right, cut out a little bit. Darby, you cut out.
oh, sorry. I would just say that like their marketing would really like by having maybe a commission base for every sale made, that salesperson makes a commission rather than just
And a
having
flat
it be a salary.
Okay, I like that. That way, there's the more we pay out, we're getting something out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. What do you, Mark, McKay? What do you guys think?
I like the idea of just trying other ways of marketing. I think he definitely needs help, like in that field. He needs to just kind of get it out there more. I know he likes the word of mouth a lot, but he needs to try other methods.
Yeah, the word of mouth's a little cheaper, so the cost of acquisition will go up with the marketing agency, but I think honestly that'll be worth the extra cost. I think they'll make more money in the long run.
Yeah.
All right, so how should Viviro respond to the new competition? So what do you guys think?
I honestly feel like they have a really interesting product, and because they're offering so many different options within their company, that they're off. If anything, I would say focus in on a few key elements to help enhance their brand.
Okay, you cut out a little bit, but you're saying just like really hone down on like their better products.
Yeah.
Okay, I can get behind that. I think that's a good idea. Mark or McKay?
Yeah, I think just invest in their marketing. I think I just think about it this way: like even if your product is better than somebody else's, but if you don't market it, everybody else will assume that it's not good. So I think you need to invest a little bit more in marketing, and I think that should do it.
Yeah. I think that's really the key to it.
So they just need to compete. They just need to get their name out there. Need to make sure they're not going to get beat out by these guys just because they aren't their name's not out there.
Yeah.
And another thing, like with competition, every time I look at if I hear something new, I don't know if it's just, I don't know what habit or whatnot, but like if I see a product that I'm interested in, I usually will look and see who makes something else similar and if they make a better or a better priced. So I think that kind of comes along with competition. I don't know if everyone's like that. That's how I am. But, that even having competition kind of helps out with marketing too, because then, other people are going to be looking at that market, seeing what's offered. So competition can be a good thing too.
Yeah, I feel like this competition with this new guy in the market kind of woke him up a little bit. And kind of what I mentioned in the past about research and development, I think is a perfect opportunity for him to notice that there are competitors and they are going after his customers. So I think this gives us an opportunity to kind of wake up and invest more in what else he's doing to make his product good for his customers, and I think one upping the competitors every single time, because I think that's how it always works. I think technology it just expires so quickly, especially in the field that he's doing. So I think just one upping again and again and again and again.
Yeah, I honestly think it's good having the new competition, because when you think about it, like you said, the one upping is, if you don't have anything driving you or lighting that fire underneath you, you're going to get complacent, and then someone's going to come in and they're going to be looking at what you've been doing wrong, and they're going to be able to crush you. But if you have that competition early on, you're not going to be able to get complacent. You're going to have to stay on your toes and continually provide a better product at a better price and improve. But I think you're right about that. The competition's a good thing to have. So cool. Course of action: just more marketing and compete. Don't get complacent. So I feel like we've already covered, the course of action.
Yeah, I gotta say, Alex, you look very authoritative with bullets in your hand.
Oh yeah, dude! I got an M1 Grand, and I got it all ready to go. I just haven't had time to go shoot it yet. My wife got it for me for graduation present. She hooked me up and bought me my dream gun. I know, she's the best wife ever. I guess kind of like baited her into it, because she was going to get me some stuff from my Harley, but I was like, you know what? This gun just came in at work. So, trying to push her towards that way. But all right, let's look at this group assignment, see if it's something we can just knock out real quick.
I actually have to go to another group meeting at 7:30, so
okay, you're good.
Dip out really fast. So thanks, guys.
Right.
I'll see you next week.
See ya. So, rent juice CLV assumption. So we did that before, but I think we might need to do a different formula with all the things that they're giving us. So let's go through of our options to respond to. Sorry, are you guys cool with just writing this out real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll do what responses for should Vivero do? So I'm saying Vivero should react. I'll share this so you guys can see what I'm writing. You can tell me if change whatever or whatnot. So he should react by focusing on getting their name out there and better marketing.
Yeah.
The more exposure they have, better exposure they have, they will be able to focus on what are their best sellers, their best product. Best selling products. So the more exposure, they will focus. They will with the more exposure they have, they will be able to focus on their best selling products. This will allow them to become more lean. As well as become more lean on the product, and as well as improving their product.
Yeah.
Jeez, what's wrong with me? Pros and cons.
Yeah, the increased cost to marketing would be a con.
So increase the cost of acquisition, but will increase revenue.
Increase revenue, and you could even argue it would increase CLV.
Jeez, there we go. The competition will force them to continually improve. To stay ahead of the competitors in the market. Cool. So that takes care of this, or part B. I guess we need to do that. I'll look up the formula and do this separate, so you guys don't have to sit here forever. So we said yes, that they should improve. So Cloudflare should. We wanted organization, right?
Sure. Yeah. Hire that VP.
Better communication and productivity.
Yeah, and a lower turnover rate of employees, I think, as well. More productivity, I think.
Yeah. And then they should slow down.
Give them a chance to set the foundation for huge growth, I guess.
Should slow down to establish a firm foundation in order to provide a better service and a better work environment. I can never remember how to spell environment. Y'all can judge me. And then discuss what will happen to the company underneath the recommendations, what will happen to their culture and motivation of their current employees, what will happen to the cost structure, therefore profitability of the company as a group composed year of. Okay. So I guess we kind of covered that in this too.
Yeah.
The costs will rise with more employees, but the less stress and workload will increase productivity.
Yeah. As far as like the culture, I think right now they have a really relaxed culture where like nobody has a title, so they don't seem that you're above anybody else, or you have certain days of the week where you just kind of have free time where you just experiment with yourself and kind of sounding weird. We were just experiment with your time there. So I think like, the hiring the VP and the HR kind of, I think they just allow that, but I think having a little bit more organization will help people find out their roles and what they're doing. And then, when they clock in every day, they know what they're doing and what their goal is. So I think that'll help out a lot.
So I'll say the culture will be a little more strict. Oh, it should be more stricter because I'm a child. A little more strict and okay. Maybe it's just stricter. All right. The culture will become more strict in the organizational sense. There will be a hierarchy.
You can say there will be a hierarchy, but they can keep. I mean, their culture can keep that from becoming competitive. I don't know.
Keep the openness of the culture.
Yeah, well, I mean, basically, like they can have titles, but it doesn't have to ruin everybody's lives. I mean, so they can keep a relaxed culture while also having titles.
Oh, but it doesn't have to change the culture drastically.
Yeah.
Cool. You guys go with that, and I'll figure out this CLV business. I'll send it to you guys. If you guys care or whatnot, I'll send you the spreadsheet, and then I'll turn this in. Cool.
Good.
Sweet, guys. Well, I'll see you next Wednesday at 6:30.
Sure.
Yeah. You guys.
See ya.